Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween. Zombie movies. Today we're gonna be talking about these couple of movies, Night of the Creeps and Night of the Living Dead. Both of these are fairly new releases and both of these are releases that I have just recently watched. And on this video I will explain to you which one of these zombie movies should you pick if you choose to select one zombie movie this Halloween. Let's talk about this Night of the Creeps first. So I think I saw this back in the day in year 1990s or something. I used to have a Filmnet recording of this, and Filmnet was a premium television channel here in Finland, a cable channel that used to show lots of cool movies. It was a movies only channel and they used to show them uncut. It was a Nordic channel, so we used to get those uncut cable quality shows on there, and Night of the Creeps was one of those movies. And Night of the Creeps was also released on VHS back in the day in Finland, and this was released in, I think it was released 1987 or 1988, so that was the time when the video censorship in Finland was at its height. So basically every horror movie, action movie, violent movie got cut. And Night of the Creeps was especially harshly treated movie. This got cut like 3.5 minutes. So why do I have two VHSs of Lötköjenö? That's kind of funny name. It basically also can mean in Finnish language a hangover. A night of hangover. If you're having a hangover day and you go to sleep and the next night you will have a Lötköjenö, like a night of slugs. But I have two VHSs of Lötköjenö because this was accidentally released as uncut version, and I don't even know which one is which. Is this cut? Is this uncut? I really don't know, because you cannot tell outside. The cover page and the tapes, they are exactly looking like this, the same. But when you put it in, you surely know which one is cut from the first bloody scene. So basically every gory scene and splatter scene has been cut 3.5 minutes, like I said. So this was a no-go when back in the day you were selecting a video, so I don't want to be watching like 3.5 minutes cut version. So this was accidentally released uncut, and the Finnish Board of Film Classificators take contact with the Showtime and hey, what the hell is going on? You take that away from the video shops and replace it with the cut version. So basically I think this took like many months. So basically the damage was already done with the Lötköjenö, and to add an insult to injury, the video shops used to sell them out. If they cannot rent them, they just sold them out. So basically it's more common to find like uncut version of Lötköjenö than the cut version. But I don't even know which one is which, but I have them both. And both of these are quite rare tapes here in Finland, and my god, they look great. And I also have this Night of the Creeps Sony Pictures Entertainment Blu-ray, and this is starting to be like over 10 years old Blu-ray, but I have watched it many times. And mind you, this has never been released on DVD in Finland or even on a Blu-ray. But now I got myself a Night of the Creeps from Shout Factory, Scream Factory release, and this got this beautiful slip cover, and I really do like this. This is the original artwork, and this also includes the the director's edition, but I think this is also director's cut, this older Blu-ray. So this is a theatrical cut, so the ending is different. So the original director's cut includes the scene where the Tom Atkins character walks out of the exploded building and falls down, and the maggots come out from his head, and then there's this graveyard scene where this spacecraft is scanning the scenery in the graveyard. That is the original ending, and this theatrical ending is like a, I think in my opinion, much more lamer. It ends with the dog coming out from the exploded building and one of the creeps flies out from the dog's mouth. So that's kind of like this jump scare ending, and in my opinion, the director's cut ending is much better. Then moving to the Night of the Living Dead, and I don't think I have to explain what is the origin of this movie. Of course, it is the Night of the Living Dead, the original 1968 version directed by George A. Romero, and this is the Tom Savini director's cut from year 1990. So I don't have necessarily too much legacy with this Night of the Living Dead. I used to have that Sony Pictures DVD back in the day. I don't know where did I put this. Maybe I sold it somewhere. I think I have some DVD-R recording of that disc, but that was an R-rated cut. So I can't stress this enough. This is such fantastic time we're living that we are getting 4K Ultra HD cuts of these films that have never been released uncut. I have to stress that at the beginning. So basically, you don't get too much of a difference. It's like only 12 seconds longer than the R-rated cut. But these are very important 12 seconds. I think there's at least a half dozen headshots that you see when zombies are getting shot in the head. So their brains are exploding out. So they are very necessary 12 seconds. And also this director's cut that has been made particularly for this 4K release includes the black and white opening in the scene in the graveyard, and it starts black and white and then changes into color when the zombies attack. So that is the difference in this director's cut, which, yeah, it's great to see. Great to see. But this I remember vividly. It was some kind of, I think it was early 90s or something. I used to watch this Sky Channel cable channel, and I think I accidentally found that, okay, there's some old horror movie starting, and it was Night of the Living Dead. I don't think I have ever even heard about that movie, and I started to watch that thing, and holy shit, right from the get-go, this is truly something else. I mean, it's very hard to even imagine how big of an impact this had on the horror genre in the 60s, because this is like a new stuff. This is new movie compared to the other peers of that year. So we used to have like these haunted house movies, creature features, but this is kind of like a semi-documentary, like cinema verite film, and this is pure terror. The opening scene in the graveyard and the scene when the lady comes into house and sees the mutilated corpse there, and the zombies keep on attacking. And when the black guy Dwayne Jones arrives at the house, and it's shot like the headlight of the car is like blinding us, and then he jumps in the front of the headlight and we see his black face. I was absolutely horrified. Not because of his black face, but I didn't know what's going on. Is it a zombie? Is it what? But it is so well directed horror picture, absolute classic, absolute gem of a horror movie, 5 out of 5 stars movie, and without any question one of the classic horror films and one of my favorite horror films of all time. By the way, here I have the Criterion new 4K Ultra HD. I don't think there was too much difference when you compare this and the previous Blu-ray. It didn't even have a HDR processing, so I don't know why. Because usually when you are doing HDR on black and white movie, they look really good, but for some reason Criterion didn't do any kind of dynamic range processing on that one. But yeah, it is what it is. But I watched that too before I watched this. Now, it had been many years since I have last watched this previously, and my recollection were not that great. You know, it's very hard act to follow this kind of a classic, but I think the Savini film, it has its own charm, especially the Patricia Tallman's character. It is much more like more lively and more vivid than here in this the same character here. And Basically, it's the same movie, but a little twist here and there. And also, I think this is wonderfully shot movie, and it has Tony Todd and Tom Knowles in it, so that's always a plus in my book, yes, for sure. And I think as a first-time director, Tom Savini does a fine job. Yeah, I have absolutely no doubt that considering especially that the fact that this was not a happy production, it was very tight budget and very tightly supervised by the producers, and even George A. Romero had to come down there and help them out to get all the shots necessary for this movie. So what did I think for this when I watched this again? Yeah, I think it was great. It was much better than I remembered, and holy shit, picture quality on this thing, it's absolutely great, absolutely fantastic. I mean, the Dolby Vision and the whatnot, it really makes the film shine, and restored and put all the previously cut scenes in. So fantastic job, Sony, fantastic job. This is how you do it. This is how you make an old horror picture, make it come back to life. Okay, so funny thing is that Night of the Living Dead, either this one or this one, these were never released in Finland in the VHS times, nor in the cinema. The only thing we get the original art Night of the Living Dead, it was the time when the first DVDs came out. So they put out this DVD, and holy shit, that was the butchered version. That's kind of like a 30 years anniversary bastardized version, which has some, you know, like shot on video scenes added in. Like, I don't know, if it's like a 20 minutes longer, some fucking stupid shit put in. So come to think of it, I fear that there's lots of people who have only seen that 30 years anniversary version and think that, yeah, this is the actual film, which is definitely is not. So if you have only seen that one, I highly suggest that you seek out the original cut, you know, 98 minutes version, and watch that. Definitely this is not as classic as the first one, no sir, but I think it is its own thing. Yeah, let's explore the cover a little bit. So this was released couple of months back, and this is a steelbook edition. I still have the Scandinavian J card hanging here. I will not take it off, but inside we have this and two discs, 4K and also the Ultra HD disc. All the extras are on the Blu-ray disc. Did I say Ultra HD and HD disc? I meant the Blu-ray disc. And yeah, this has lots of extras. It has lots of interviews and all the legacy extras too, old interviews and old making of films, and all these extras are pretty good, I must say. And this includes the commentary by Tom Savini, but I did not listen to that this time. Yeah, but nice set of extras, great looking picture, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos sound. So this is a good value for the money, and too bad that this sold out very quickly, but I hear there's a second print coming from this steelbook, so you might want to wait that before you pay the scalping prices. So hopefully this will come out very soon, but it may take some time, because I remember when 7 came out on the steelbook, and I missed that already also, and this just now it's coming out on the second pressing, so it has been like 10 months. So hopefully we don't have to wait for 10 months for the reissuing of this Night of the Living Dead. And then this is a Shout Factory release, and slipcover, like I already showed you, includes a great looking original artwork. And what is this film even about? Okay, it's a couple of frat guys that are applying to this frat fraternity, and they are making this prank that got to get the corpse out of the freezer from the science lab, but they chickened out. But nevertheless, the corpse that has been on ice for, I don't know, 50 years comes back to life and starts walking it by itself, and then these kind of creeps, slugs, are coming out of its head, because the head splits open and the slugs come out, and the slugs go into other people's mouth and make them zombies. So it's a more like a pastiche of 50s horror cinema, and kind of very funny pastiche, might I add, there also. I think the characters in this are very sympathetic, and they have this nice chemistry between each other. It is starring Jason Lively and Steve Marshall and Jill Whitlow, and also Tom Atkins. And oh my god, Tom Atkins might be the best character of these, best character that these types of films have ever had. He had such wonderful one-liners, and kind of like this is all around very tongue-in-cheek, but not like a spoof. It is not deliberately trying to be goofy, but the setups and all the situations and the dialogue and the gore scenes, they all support like this kind of tongue-in-cheek mentality, which I like very much. And this has lots of blood, because every time slugs come out from the people's head, zombies' head, the heads explode and spill blood and get out, and people are shooting the heads open and using the flamethrower to burn these kind of slugs. And oh man, it's a wild movie. I am not wondering why back in the day when the censorship was its harshest, why did they cut out so much of this gore scene? And this also had a nice set of extras in it. And yeah, I watched all the interviews there. It has some new interviews. I think they were done for the newer Shout Factory release. And then also the same legacy extras that this includes. I think it's an hour-long documentary about the making of Night of the Creeps, and that's a very good, very well made documentary and insightful documentary. And that I didn't know, that the garden tool scene, it was like a pickup shot, because the producers think that this movie needs more oomph, so they went out and shot some more gore and a new ending for that movie. Overall, great fun. I really do like it. It's a great experience, and I have very high nostalgic feelings toward this film. Too bad they don't include like a reversible sleeve, because I think this would have been cool addition if when we get the slipcover like this. So the reversible sleeve should have been like this, in my opinion, because the artwork, both of these have great artwork, but okay, I think this takes the cake if we are simply comparing that which one is better. Both of these films look excellent. This too looks like a fucking $1 million, and this is a little bit older film from year 1986, so I think picture quality wise, I think Sony Pictures Entertainment guys, they have done a little bit better restoring than the guys who did this one. But both of these include Dolby Vision, and okay, this probably didn't include Dolby Atmos sound. Okay, but technically I think Night of the Living Dead was a better one, but both of these are equally good if you're comparing the extras. Blu-ray 4K and one separate disc for the extra special features. So okay, maybe this takes even bigger cake with the extras. If I had to select one of these films, Night of the Living Dead, I think it's very good. It's better than I remembered. Not as good as the original. Nothing can be as good as this baby here. No. But I had lot of fun watching this again. Tony Todd's performance, Patricia Tolman's performance, and all that. And I think all other actors in this film are good. Special effects are good, but I think this has more action and more special effects, and this is more original and more to my liking. It's kind of like a pastiche of these older movies, and I can see that Fred Dekker, the director of this movie, really knows his stuff about the 50s monster movies and the, you know, all the tropes that these genres have. So I think I have to go for this. I will definitely give this 4 stars. I will give this also 4 stars, but maybe a little bit weaker 4 stars. But this one is my recommendation from these two, and always a great recommendation if you are looking for a film for this Halloween that has great chills, splatter, gore, humor, and also space creatures and also grimy looking zombies. My selection is this. Which one do you select? Thanks for watching and catch you in the next video. Bye.